WVVA presents the 2007 West Virginia High School Football State Championship Special. Brought to you by Wonder World, Goody Coots, and First Century Bank. And now, here's your hosts, WVVA's PJ Ziegler and Jordan Canegliero.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside Studio B for our 2007 West Virginia High School Football State Championship Special.
Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look back at the state championship game and break it down, all the games from this season with head coach Freddie Simon.
We have a lot to get to, so let's get started. Let's backtrack a little bit, though, and look at how the Beavers arrived at the state championship game in Wheeling. Of course, it all started in week 1 of the playoffs against Roane County. A blowout win. Coach, did you think it would be that easy?
You never think that a playoff game will be easy. Some things happened early, a lot of turnovers. We scored on big plays, and it worked out well for us.
Now you got off to a great start. What did you see that allowed you to be so successful right from the get-go in that first game?
Well, you know, again, getting the turnovers and scoring quickly, you know, you're up 21 points just like that, and it just makes it easier on your team. You don't have to really worry about, you know, how we're going to score, how we're going to stop them. We have some room for error, and it was really nice the way Sean Brooks, Ansel Ponder, you know, Will throwing the ball. It was really a nice game.
Some of the young guys got a shot to play. That must have been helpful for next year and beyond, especially in a playoff situation like that.
Yeah, it's nice when the players, all of them, work very hard, whether they're a starter or a scout team player, and they're out there in the cold weather, the hot weather, you know, getting hit on, just having to be there every day. So it's nice when they can get in on the action too.
And then, of course, it was on to Chapmanville, a Saturday afternoon game again. Sort of a little deja vu. You guys dominated right from the start.
Well, turnovers again, and I think they're very key in playoff games if you can get a few early. And we did. You know, we got a couple early. We scored quick again, and it was just almost like the first game. And you know, Chapmanville's a good football team. It's just nice when you get a lot of points quickly, and you can lay back and relax a little bit.
You just mentioned that the key in this game, of course, was turnovers. You were able to force them early on, and like you just said, it really helped you. I mean, in a playoff game, that's huge.
Right. I see Jake making a nice run there too. So you know, we had so many weapons that sometimes it could be Sean, like it is there. Jake Lilly before there, Ansel, Cody, you know, just so many different guys that could do it. Chase Joyner, Marcus Patterson, Aaron Bowes. We had a lot of weapons. We could go inside and outside, and we could throw the ball, and that made us very tough to defend.
From there, it was on to Scott and Jordan Roberts. Freddie, you're always tough when you play a team for the second time in a season. What adjustments did you make this time around? I believe he had 38 carries for about 156 yards.
We focused definitely on him more this second time around because he surprised us, and he looked good on film, but after we played him, he was much tougher than we anticipated. And we added another person sometimes up on the line of scrimmage or closer to the line to compensate for him because they had 8 men on the line of scrimmage also, and it helped us some, but I think the focus of the players was the key. They were definitely more focused, knowing that if we blinked an eye, he could score on us just like that, and I was very proud of our players for doing that.
This, of course, another dominating performance, but I have to ask you, at one point in the season did you realize, I mean, this is going to be a special group and a special year?
Well, it all starts on January 2nd with our weight room, and our players work so hard year-round, and some of the seniors, Deke Kersey, Aaron Bowes, Ansel Ponder, you know, Chris Harris, some of those guys kind of got together, and they wanted to make sure that we were going to be basically ready to go, ready to work, and communicate with each other. And it started then, and it carried out throughout the year, throughout the season. And you never know how special they're going to be, but I could just start seeing that they cared. And if you've got some players that care, it makes it a lot easier for you.
Jordan Roberts, what was the key to shutting him down? I know you mentioned there a little bit earlier. Number 2, I can't remember his name right now, but he got injured in that game. And I remember they gave him the ball a lot early on, and they kind of shifted the focus away from Jordan Roberts. And I mean, that kind of helped you guys a little bit as well, too.
It did, but we still knew that if you didn't stop Roberts, they were going to win. And you know, I know they had other, it's a team game, but as long as we contained Roberts the best we could, we would be definitely better than if we didn't. And I thought that was the key. We tackled better, we basically surrounded him more, and we knew that you know, hopefully that if someone was going to beat us, it wasn't going to be him.
All right, so after all that, it was on to the state title game where Bluefield would meet James Monroe. But first things first, all state championship teams have the same similar qualities, and each team is unique in its own way. Bluefield last won a state championship in 2004. They headed to Wheeling the same way they have arrived there this year, undefeated. So, how are these two teams similar? It's not easy comparing this year's state-bound Bluefield Beaver football team to the one in 2004, when the Beavers won it all.
We know what 04 did, and we can't make any comparisons until the season's over.
What makes them different makes them unique.
I think we're hungry every single year, but this year is just a different year. We just come out with just a minded state of winning.
Both the 04 team and this year's team head into the state championship game the exact same way, undefeated.
To win it all, like to go undefeated the senior year, like that's everybody's dream of like as a high school player. 2004 was not the last time the Beavers made the trip to Wheeling. In 2005, Bluefield was shut out by Weir 40-0. They're not about to let it happen again.
I was on that team in 05 when we went up there and got embarrassed, and I just want to go up there and give it a shot and just have a chance to win it.
If Bluefield can wrap up a second state championship in the last 3 years, they may be one of the greatest teams head coach Fred Simon has ever coached.
The only way you compare best teams is, what they accomplish at the end of the year.
What they accomplish at the end could determine if this team is better than the 2004 one.
Is this team better than 2004 one? Coming up, we'll hear from head coach Freddie Simon. He'll be able to answer that question for you. Plus, we'll look at the state championship highlights and show you how the Beavers wrapped up a 9th state championship. It's all coming up next on the 2007 West Virginia High School Football State Championship Special. Welcome back. Let's go to Wheeling and the state championship game where two teams separated by less than an hour's drive traveled 5 hours to decide who would be state champions. It was top-ranked Bluefield taking on third-ranked James Monroe. Mavericks in Wheeling for the first time, of course, in school history. Bluefield making its 5th appearance in the last 6 years. First quarter, the handoff goes to Taylor Robertson, who picks up some nice yards. It was 1st and 10 Mavericks. Then on the same drive that set up Robertson, who this time goes to the air, hits Ernie Tincher on the 25-yard score. Extra point, no good. It was 6-0 Mavericks. Beavers trying to get something going. Will Cole, he's going to roll left, and he's going to be picked off by Josh White. It later set up a Logan Ray 22-yard field goal, and it was 9-0 Mavericks. Still in the first, the Beavers do get on the board. Sean Brooks takes the handoff. This one covers 51 yards. It's good for the touchdown. Beavers trailed 9-7. Then in the second quarter, Bluefield goes to Ansel Ponder, who takes it inside. He breaks it into the open field, but check out how he's carrying the ball. He gets stripped. Mavericks recover. It set up this 37-yard field goal by Logan Ray right before the half to make it a 12-7 game. Yeah, PJ, second half, Bluefield, though, they go right to work. Cole connecting here. Chase Joyner, 58 yards on that strike, and just like that, it's 14-12 Beavers. Later in the quarter, Cole going at it again. This time he likes Ponder on the bubble screen to the right. Ponder making some guys miss. Nothing new about that. It's 20-12, Bluefield with the lead. The Mavericks one last chance, but the ball gets picked off. It ended on an interception. The Beavers, hey, let the celebration begin. Bluefield wins its 9th state championship, 20-12, your final in Wheeling.
They're all so hard, and they're all great. We're very happy to have it, and just thank God. That's all I can say. We are very happy to get this, and it took a lot of hard work, a little bit of luck, but we found a way to do it.
Oh man, it's the best feeling in the world, man. It's the best feeling.
Oh, it feels awesome. Can't really describe it right now. I think it's one of we came out here and worked real hard for it, and I think we deserved it.
Feels really good, man. That's the way I want to finish out the season, and we got it done. The team was tough.
God just blessed us tonight to come out and be the better team and win this and get the victory.
It feels great. We got it's more for the season. I still got 2 more years to come back here. I'm pretty sure we'll be back here.
As you were watching that, you commented. What did you have to say?
I said there's no better feeling than that. Looking at the players, how happy they are, and the hard work that we all put into it, and then to be rewarded like we were, it's a great feeling. And every time I see their faces, it just makes me feel great.
I got to ask you though, in that game, Will Cole threw the ball just 8 times. I think he was 5 of 8. he threw the ball 8 times the entire game. He usually throws about 8 balls midway through the second quarter. What was different this time with James Monroe?
Well, they ball control you. So I think they ran 70 plays, 70-some plays to our 30-some plays. And our field position was terrible. We started on the 10, we started on the 15, and sometimes we turned the ball over. So we just didn't have it enough for him ever to get his basic rhythm going. But we still found a way for him to throw effectively for over 100 and some yards during the game. Would we like to throw a little bit more? Possibly. But in our scheme of things, we don't really care how we win, just as long as we win. And that's the beauty of our team. Will didn't care, and Ansel didn't care how many passes he caught, and, Sean didn't care how many times he carried the ball. It was more like, what are we going to have to do this game to win? And that's basically what happened. But I can tell you their ball control offense, 70-some plays to 30-some, dictated a little bit that too.
Let's take a closer look and now tell me about, early in the game it seemed like your state title game you guys got off to a little flat start. I mean, James Monroe certainly had the momentum early on.
Yeah, they did. And, they started out, they drove the field on 3rd and long. We expected a pass, and we just, they made a nice play fake and caught us off guard and made a nice pass. Then we turned it right over. But what I was happy to see was our defense held them to a field goal. Jake Lilly made a nice stick right there near the goal line on 3rd down. And, they held them to a field goal, and that enabled us to at least be within striking distance. You go down 2 scores early, although with our offense, the way we could score, I never really, with the attitude of our players, I never really panicked all year because they never gave me a reason to doubt them. They did everything we asked them to do, and I felt okay. Now, if we'd been down 3 scores, I may have gotten a little more concerned, but just the way they played together, and I loved the game, and the way all of us got along, I felt okay.
We just saw just a few minutes ago, and actually it's going to be coming up right here, the 25-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Roberts to, from Tyler Robertson, to Ernie Tincher. That surprised you, that they threw that?
Well, we knew they had that pass, but what Taylor did was a pretty nice little fake. He faked up and then went back, and that's pretty good. You're thinking he's going to run the ball because he does so many times, and just a real nice maneuver on his part. And it caught us sleeping a little bit, but we can't worry about that. It happened. We got to move on to the next play, and fortunately we did. And I see Sean coming back with that nice counter with some excellent blocking. And I thought that my son did a nice job of calling plays. You always go back into games to where you look and see some things you could maybe make a different call or two. There was only one call that I may have looked at a little different. He would have too, but other than that, I thought it was, we're human, but I thought everything went pretty smooth for us.
Now, Cole's interception at that point in the game, was he trying to force the ball, or was just a bad read, or what happened there?
He was trying, are you talking about near the end of the game?
Yeah.
He was trying to get rid of it, and he got hit. So people don't see that sometimes, but Will was trying to get rid of it, so when he got hit, it made it go shorter than it usually would have, and out of bounds would have been great. We pumped the ball, and we're fine. But again, they had just made a bad snap on the punt, so we had pretty good field position, and it wasn't really going to kill us. And our defense, they just went to win it, buddy, and they did.
All right, let's go on to the second half. A much different Beaver team showed up. Coach, what'd you say at halftime?
We coaches, all of us, had a few things to say. I allow our coaches to coach, and I don't mind them saying a few things. Pete Sarver had a few things to say. My son had a few things to say. Coach Craighead, Coach Thompson, Coach Webster, Coach Bill Albert, and Randy Albert. We all had a few things to say, but mainly it was a lot similar, as in, guys, we can definitely play better. Let's don't turn the ball over. Let's all of us do our job. Don't worry about anybody else. Do your job to the best that you can, and let's see what happens here in this half. Let's try not to turn the ball over. Let's carry out our assignments, offensively and defensively and special team-wise, and we did. Now, we still turned the ball over, but it wasn't because of lack of effort. They tried, but we definitely got the lead when we needed to. I see, Chase making a nice catch and Will doing a nice throw and maneuvering there. Good blocking, and we lined up in our quad set there and got Ansel in space, and see what he can do in space. But we found a way, and I'm just very, very happy that our players found a way to win. And I tell you, the community was great too coming up there. It was, basically a 4.5-hour, 5-hour trip, and by them coming up all that distance and cheering like they did, it's just great. It's great to be in that atmosphere. It's great to be part of it. It doesn't happen that often. You wish it happened every time you turned around, but it doesn't. It's hard work, and you're very happy whenever it happens.
Made it feel like a home game for you with all the fans that were up there.
It was neat, and they all, there's a friend of ours that drove all the way. He lives in Richlands, and Bob Moyer, and he drove all the way up to the game. He graduated from Bluefield High School, and he's an avid Richlands supporter. So
drove back for the Richlands.
Drives back for the Richlands game, brought his family up. So I mean, things like that are pretty neat.
Now, first half, obviously you guys kept it on the ground, and no secret, James and Roy, that's what they do. But what made you guys kind of spread the wings in the second half and throw the ball?
Well, if you noticed, we ran it at first till we got out of the hole. We didn't have great field position, so once we got a little decent field position, then Will's throwing about the 50-yard line, somewhere in that area, and connecting, and everything worked out well there. But it's hard to, throw against a good football team. And I'll tell you, James Monroe is a good football team. Now, you can basically say some of our turnovers and our lack of basically play is them. They're a good football team. Their offensive line and defensive line are as big as anybody we played all year, if not bigger, and they're very physical, and they have some good athletes behind them. So, that's basically what happened.
And from there, it was a 20-12 win over James Monroe, and the Beavers claimed their 9th state championship.
We had a lot of mistakes, and probably fortunate we weren't down more with the mistakes we had. But sometimes kids, they just react a little different. But fortunately, they found a way in the second half, and we won the second half, and that mattered the most.
I think we were confident in our abilities, and we came out and made a couple little errors, and I think we were beating ourselves.
When you guys went into halftime, did you think maybe you let this one slip away?
That's what we thought. We was just nervous. I mean, we had to let the nerves out first. Once the nerves went away, y'all saw what we could do when we played Bluefield football.
What will you remember most about this team?
The seniors, how the senior leadership that we had, and everything, like even when we down, we still look up on each other to make big plays.
I remember everybody had each other's back on the field. Regardless of what the situation was, I knew I could depend on my teammates and my seniors that's on the field.
All right, Coach, in that earlier piece, you said you couldn't compare the two teams, of course, this year's team and the 2004 one, because you didn't know what this year's team was going to accomplish. They have now won a state title. How do they compare to the 2004 team, which, by the way, also won a state title and went undefeated?
They both are dead even. I can't get in that situation where I've got to face players all the time, guys. So, and they're dead even as in good special teams, as in Asher Sexton and Lucas Stone. Quarterbacks were definitely, very comparable. You had Will and you had Rusty, and the running backs, and just everything was really comparable. We had good offense where we could throw and run the ball. We had a good defense, and I think that's the difference. And we had very good leadership. These freshmen learned very well from those seniors in 04 how to lead, and they did an excellent job of leading. So basically some similarities and all that, and I'll let those guys argue from now on about who they think can be better. That's fine with me.
Let the debate begin, right?
Yes.
Hey, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to see how the school celebrated this state championship, and we'll take a look at next season, what they have coming up. It's all in the 2007 West Virginia Class AA State Football Championship. Welcome back. Beaver Pride kicking following their Wheeling win Friday night. The entire student body, faculty, and staff held a celebration reception Tuesday at this school, celebrating their football team's 2007 AA State Championship. NBC6's photojournalist Paul Hess has the story.
Some well-deserved recognition for a team who not only secured their school's 9th state title, but finished the season with 12 wins and 0 losses.
This is the ultimate goal of the season. This is what we were working towards ever since January 2, when we started lifting with the football team. We wanted to go undefeated. We wanted that ring.
We've been champions all our life, winning it since we've been little to middle school, and now to go out with a state championship as a senior, that's just a wonderful feeling.
An honor Fred Simons, coach of the Bluefield Beavers, knows his players will hold with the utmost respect and dignity.
I had a great time coaching these young men. Very fun to be around different types of personalities, and they listened, tried, communicated well with us. A very good group to be around, and going to miss them.
49 young men whose athletic success this year is shared by their fellow students.
Our student body, they come and support the games, and even our volleyball players, our soccer players, just seem to find time after hard practices during the week and playing games to come out Friday night and support the football team.
Beaver Pride, an indescribable emotion easily expressed on these young faces and shared by an entire town who bleeds maroon and white.
It's great every time. You work so hard and you hope that it happens. You just never know when it's going to, and it's just so fantastic when it does.
For NBC6, I'm Paul Hess.
All right, with the state championship in hand, let's look ahead now to 2008. You'll be losing 16 seniors from this year's team and some pretty big playmakers at that. What should people expect next season?
Well, we'll get out and we'll work hard starting January 2nd, and we'll see. We'll just try to put the best people we can with the best attitude and the best heart. We'll put them out there on the field and see what we can do. I can't make any predictions. We'll just try.
Obviously, Will Cole coming back, how much does that help having the quarterback, a leader like that, coming back for another year?
Well, I think it'll help because Will coming in also had a ACL problem with his knee, and it took him a while to get over that. And I think Will will work hard and he'll get better.
You said that you're not going to put any numbers up there of how the team's going to do, but is this next year's team capable of making it back to Wheeling?
Well, that's why you get in the weight room, and that's why you practice. So we'll give it a try. I can't make that prediction. I didn't really make it last year. I said, let's work hard and let's see what happens, and I think we will.
Who's a guy that maybe we didn't hear a lot about this year that you can expect to hear his name called coming up next season?
Well, that's hard because I'll give you an idea. I never knew that Aaron Bowes this year would play like he would. As far as the defensive line goes, he dominated, and he's not that big a kid. Justin Schrader at center, first year he played there, did a fantastic job for us. Didn't have any idea what he would do. Brandon Harris, Chris Harris, Mike Miller. These are all guys, Cody Wassam. These are guys that didn't play the year before and start for us, so they did a great job. I'll have to wait till the end of next year to tell you who surprised me for the next coming year, but there's always surprises. That's what makes this game so great. You never know which player's going to come around and work hard in the weight room and turn your program around. So I'm sure we'll have some surprises. Look forward to it, but I can't give you any predictions now. I have no way of knowing.
Okay. Well, hey, we're not done yet. When we come back, we'll hear from the players as they talk about what they'll remember most about this year's state championship team. It's all coming up after the break. Welcome back. For a program like Bluefield that being the best team in the state, that feeling never really goes away. They now have 9 state championships after Friday night's win. The Beavers returned to Mercer County last week with their 2007 title. This team went undefeated, but 3 of their wins were by 7 points or less. 13-0 can look like a cakewalk. It wasn't, and that's what they'll remember about it.
Even when we're down, we still look up on each other to make big plays. That's what I remember about this team.
Grew up with these boys, plays, and I've been a little boy with them. It's just a great feeling.
We had some real close games, and the team always stayed positive, always, try to win. We never gave up. We had so many close games this year, and just as a team, I won't ever forget this.
Obviously, a team that makes this far, leadership has to be there. Who are some of the guys that really stood out and carried this team when they needed that this year?
First comes to mind Deke Kersey. He was very inspirational to the other guys. You had Deke, you had Ansel Ponder, you had Sean Brooks, Chris Harris, Aaron Bowes. Those were the main guys.
Coach, I want to thank you for joining us. That'll do it for our 2007 West Virginia High School Football State Championship show. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the 2007 West Virginia High School Football State Championship Special on WVVA. Brought to you by Window World, Goody Coon, and First Century Bank. Congratulations to the 2007 AA State Champs, the Bluefield Beavers.